Hey scrap fans, it's Patrice from Cropsy Turvy. Today I want to show you a little mini matchbook album that I saw on Paper Phenomenon, and I didn't do a whole lot of embellishing yet because I wanted to get this up on the blog because I think that this is the make and take that we're going to do at St. Andrews this weekend. Now this is the matchbook mini that was on Paper Phenomenon, and this was from an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper, and it has these it folds out like this, and then it has these little pockets, and I like this. I like the idea, but I didn't like the size. I wanted something a little bigger in case I did want to use it on a page or even by itself. It doesn't fit, you know, this is a standard wallet size photo, and I didn't want to have to crop the photos. So I wanted to come up with something that held those photos without having to crop them. So I actually did math, which I'm pretty proud of myself for, and I came up with this album, which uses a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and it's the same concept. It flips open, there's 3 folds, and then the sides open up, and it gives you room for photos and for journaling cards or more photos, and it does have the 3 pockets, but the spaces are 3 by 4, so it gives you the room for a wallet size photo without having to do any cropping. And I didn't embellish this one yet because, like I said, I wanted to get this up so I would have the measurements and everything on the blog for anybody who wants those for the weekend. So I'm going to show you real quickly how to do this and what the measurements are. And you're going to start with a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock, and we're just going to use cream today. And I have the measurements here. What you're going to do is you're going to score on the 4-inch and on the 8-inch on one side, and I'll do that in a second. And then it's going to be 2 3/8, and then 2 5/8, and then it's going to be 5 5/8, and 5 7/8, and then it's going to be 8 7/8 and 9 inches. And what you're doing is you're creating those spaces. The 1/8 inch space here is so when you fold it up you get a nice clean edge, and then you have the 1/4 inch space here for when you fold it up, and then you have the other 1/4 inch space for the top, so you get a nice flat pocket. And you could actually mount that to a scrapbook page if you use a nice heavy cardstock. So your square sizes that you have, or actually they're rectangles, are going to be 3 by 4, and then your top flap here, I think this is 2 3/8 inches, and then you could actually punch the edge or something if you'd like. So just real quick to show you where the score marks are, I use my Martha Stewart scoreboard. And again, you're going to go 4 inches and then 8 inches. Oh, I need to keep that nice and flat. Okay, and then you're going to turn it, and that's where you're going to do 2 3/8, and then you're going to do 2 5/8, and then again at 5 5/8, and then 5 7/8. And this gives you the 2 1/4 inch spaces, and then you're going to go 8 7/8 and 9 inches. And now it's really, I'm sure, hard just for you to see those score marks. So I did this on the paper. Where I have the black lines, those are just going to be folds. Where I have these red dotted lines, that is going to be where you cut. Okay, and you're going to cut in all the way to the fold mark, and then you're going to cut these pieces out completely. So you're going to be left with something that looks like this. And these pieces are completely gone. And let me just do that real quick. And you can use your scissors, you can use your craft knife. I think I'm going to use my craft knife here real quick because I think it'll be faster. And I'm just going to cut on this line. I'm not actually real great with a craft knife. And actually, I'm going to cut these parts out first, these small pieces. And it's not going to be perfect, but you'll get the point. Oops, see what I mean? So you're going to do that on all four sides, or both sides. And then on this top part, on the part that's slightly smaller, you have your 3-inch blocks. This 2 and I think it's 2 3/8. You're actually going to cut the whole thing off, just leaving the center portion, because that's going to be your flap for your closure. So you're going to go right to that second fold mark and just cut that off completely. And if I was doing this other than for on camera, I would be using my roller because I can't draw a straight line. So it doesn't have to be perfect. So let me cut these real quickly. So I want to show you real quickly how to make the pockets. Oh, that one's terrible. Okay, anyway. Move that out of the way. And then what you have is these fold in. Let me turn this around so it makes sense for you. These fold in this way. And then they fold up and up. And this one folds down. Okay, and you could leave it like that if that's how you wanted your little mini to be, but we're going to do some pockets. And I'm going to show you how to make the hinge, which was something that I saw from Kathy Order on Paper Phenomenon. And what we're going to do is we're going to take out half of every other one. And I'm going to do that just, these are 4 inches, so I'm going to take off 2 inches here, and then 2 inches on this side, and 2 inches on this side. And I'm going to use my paper trimmer here real quick. And I'm just going to line up the stop at 2 inches, and I'm going to take that off. And then you're going to do the other side. And I guess if you wanted your pockets to be in different places, you could pick different places to put them. Wow, that is so crooked. And then we'll do this bottom one. Okay, so then these are going to be my little pockets, and we're going to make some hinges, because you can see on the example these open up so you get that the full width of the pocket space rather than adhering it down. And you could adhere it flat, but you wouldn't get that full 3 inches of pocket space without doing the hinges. And I'm just going to show you one real quick. You're going to use your leftovers from where you cut off, and you're just going to cut these into little 1-inch strips. And you're going to need 2 for each pocket, so I think you'll need to use 2 pieces. It'll give you what you need. So I'll just show you one real quick. You're just going to take these strips, and they're going to be the same height as your pocket as you cut it in half, and you're just going to fold them to make your hinge. And you're going to get 2 of those. And now if you're going to embellish and you're going to mat your pages, what you can do is you can mat this 2-inch piece right here and then cut a little indentation with a circle punch. You can do that before you put these pockets down. It's a little easier if you put the matting and punch the circle before you stick it down. But what you're going to end up doing is get some double-sided tape, which I have here somewhere. Hold on, 1 second. Double-sided tape. I cleaned up my scrap room and now I can't find anything, so I'm just going to use my ATG just for demonstrative purposes. But if you're doing this, you're going to want to do some double stick tape, because that'll adhere a lot better. But I'm just going to show you how. And you put tape on both sides, and you put the folds to the outside, just like that. And then you would put your double-sided tape on this side and this side. And you just fold that over. And that gives you your pocket. And you can do that on the whole way down. And then you just, you can mat all your pages. You can ink it up. I used this one. Like I said, it's not finished yet, but I think this is the, Tim Holtz, one of the paper stashes. I think it's Retro Grunge. And I'm going to make some tags and stuff and put it in there. And I inked it up a little bit. I'll probably punch a border or something here. But I just wanted to get this video up so that you could have a quick idea, and if you do take the Make and Take class at the Crop this weekend, then you can refer back to the blog for the measurements, so you don't have to worry about writing them down. So again, that is my little mini fold, my take on it, my 12x12 version. And if you have any questions, leave me a comment or send me an email. info@cropsyturvy.com, and I hope to see you all this weekend at St. Andrews. And if you can't make it to St. Andrews, we'll also be set up at the Richland High School. Their after prom party fundraiser is Sunday, February 26th from, I believe, 1 to 4 at the high school, right outside the theater. So until then, happy scrapping!